Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Adam here with Indie Farm Life. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know how much I love my 4052R. This thing's a 2016, has almost 700 hours on it, and it's been nothing short of a dream for me. However, John Deere decided to ruin all that, and they made a change recently that I'm not too happy with. Does anyone have a clue what I'm talking about yet? You may have seen it on the forums or floating around the internet, but let me show you. So last fall, I was doing some service on the 4052R here, and I noticed something. See that there? That's the oil filter. You notice anything? You see all that unpainted part of the frame there where an oil filter would typically be covering? If you look close in there, you can see that the oil filter that's on here doesn't quite cover the unpainted area. Why is that? I know what many of you are probably going to say in the comments. Adam, we've seen your channel. You probably ordered the wrong filter, or you put the one from the lawnmower on the tractor. Kind of wish that was the case. Actually, that's the case. And that's a low tire. So what exactly happened? Well, the long and short of it is John Deere wanted to make a little bit more money, and they decided to shrink the size of the OEM spec oil filter by about 46%. Same model number, same one the parts manual calls for, now smaller by 46%. Cool. Here in a few minutes, we'll go up to the house and I'll show you the old filter, the new filter I ordered, and another replacement filter I have that can circumvent this whole thing. But why would they do that? Well, obviously, I think they're trying to save a little bit of money, but at what expense? We all spend significant amounts of money on these machines. And you know, it's one thing to cut corners on the front end, but halfway through ownership, you find that they're just changing the specs and the sizes of the OEM filter. I think this would be a good high school senior photo post. There's a number of discussions out on the forums about this, and one individual said they spoke with someone at John Deere and they claimed that the smaller filter filters just as well as the larger one. You know what? Someone smarter than me may be able to prove that that's true, but logically that makes zero sense. So up at the house, I have the old filter that came off this thing, which was full size. Another one of the new filters I put on here, so you can see that the model matches. And I have a replacement filter I'll share with you guys, which should mirror the original OEM filter. So I'm gonna get this thing back in the barn, and we'll go up to the garage, and I'll show you those parts. All right, guys, here we are back in the garage. Pardon the mess. I have about a dozen projects going on at any one point in time, it seems like. But let's take a look at these filters. So this is the original filter that was on the machine. Usually I would toss these, but given what we found, I wanted to save it. So we'll pull this out of here. Look at the part number, M806419. See if the camera will focus for you. Close enough. M806419. Now let's grab the replacement that got put on the machine. Again, exact same part number on the box. John Deere part M806419. So we have matching part numbers. I'm probably gonna pour oil on my floor, but can you see there the difference in size? Oh, goes a little oil. Better wipe that up. At least now you know this one actually was the used filter. So I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick this up. Actually, I think what you're supposed to, the influencers do this. Is this right? Is that how I'm supposed to do this? I mentioned 46% difference in size. How did I come up with that? Well, I have an app on my phone. It's called the oil filter size gauging app. You set these on a tabletop and you point your phone at them, it'll tell you the size difference. I'm kidding. I found on the forums, a gentleman actually took one of these and cut them both open and measured the filter media inside of them. And he did the math on the square inches or square centimeters of the filter media, and this one is 46% smaller than this one. So didn't do it firsthand, but the guy seemed pretty thorough. I'll link that conversation down below. So there you go. If you went out and purchased the M806419 thinking you're going to get this, no more. Now you're going to get this, which is extremely, extremely frustrating given what we all spend on those tractors. However, people are resourceful, and in that same discussion I found online, someone found what would be the replacement for the OEM spec item. And I know a lot of you think, oh, well, just an alternative OEM item, that's no good. Well, what if the replacement item is the same brand as the engine in your tractor? Yanmar. So some people may say, oh, I get it. There's shortages right now. People can't get, Deere can't make the filters they used to. Nah, I don't think that's the case. We already know what the case is. But anyway, here it is. Here would be a Yanmar replacement filter for the original OEM spec M80421. I don't have it memorized yet. 806419. I am yet to put this on the tractor. Folks on that forum did say, though, it seemed to match up almost perfectly. It is a little bit bigger, but when you look at the steel on the O-ring, it's more in line with the size of the O-ring for the new replacement filter. I think it'll be just fine. And there's no restrictions in that area when you're putting it on the tractor that should stop this from going on there. So like I said, I'm yet to use it, but people did seem to think that this was the right replacement. I think a handful of folks on there had used it. I will link this below. It's Yanmar part 129150-35170. This will be linked below. Comparable in price. The next time I change my oil, which will probably be sooner rather than later, given I'm running a smaller filter on there now, I will be putting this on there. I will loop back and let you guys know in the comments. Perhaps I'll throw a pinned comment in there if this seems to work, but it should. Same threading. No real issues there. Get you guys a close-up shot of these. Again, pardon the mess. Been building a few cabinet doors here. So the middle one is the OEM filter, original to the machine. The one on the left, the smaller one here, is the replacement that they now sell, and that is the Yanmar filter, which should be a replacement for the OEM. What's funny is you're almost getting seemingly a bigger filter with this now, replacement from Yanmar. That's the way I'm going to go long term, but I want to give you guys a shot, size comparison of the three. Doesn't look too different there, really, height-wise. You can see the width difference, and those being black does not help. But you can see the diameter difference there as well. So as spring is rolling around and you guys are getting ready to maybe do an oil change in your machine, if you didn't do it last fall, don't waste your money. Buy that Yanmar filter. Like I said, it'll be linked below. It's really kind of infuriating. You spend that kind of money on a machine, and they do things like this to kind of nickel and dime their way to a larger profit margin. I understand it. It's the way of the world these days. I guess knowing that, we all just got to be a little bit resourceful, do some digging, and in doing so, we find solutions to our problems. What do I do with this thing now? I should just like screw it on the side of a workbench. So my buddies come over and say, why does your workbench have an oil filter? Yours doesn't? You haven't changed the oil in your workbench lately? Dude. I would say I would juggle these as we close out the video here, but I don't really want to get oil everywhere. I also can't juggle, so well, I kind of can. Check it out. This is how you know this came off my tractor. It's like the Hulk was trying to put this one on the first time or take it off, just straight up dented that thing. All right, I'll see you guys next time.